Hello and welcome to Tuesday. It's April 2nd, which means that, you know, April 8th is next Monday. And while I talked about April 8th being the eclipse yesterday, April 8th is also very important in kind of like the whole gaming universe as we know it. Back in, what was it, January, Nintendo announced that they would be shutting down the online services for both 3DS and Wii U. And while that's unfortunate, it had to be done at some point. A lot of people feel like it was a bit too soon, but consider that the Switch came out in 2017 and the 3DS was end of life, maybe 2019. I mean, the 3DS was end of life 2019 or so. Actually, probably even not even maybe 2020. It's only been like 4 years since uh, the 3DS really kind of, you know, which is unfortunate. But what will you do? Um, so yeah, the Switch kind of has replaced both of those, and the big thing, for me at least, is Pokemon. Uh, it's been a huge part of my life ever since I was like it was my first video game that I really remember playing since I was two. Pokemon Blue on my Game Boy Color, and Silver is the one that I really have a lot of memories with. But um, Pokemon Fire Red and Pearl specifically were the ones that I sank hundreds, if not thousands, of hours into, and it it's weird to let those memories just go away. Uh, like so much time spent playing with cousins, and I enjoyed that time so much. But one of the things that I thought about was that because they're shutting down online services, I wanted a fully living Dex in every single game, and what that means, or at least every single generation, and what that means is that you need to catch one of every single Pokemon, pre-evolved and evolved forms, and that is very much doable. Unfortunately, I set that goal in January, and I had been slacking throughout like the bulk of February and the bulk of um, March. That's the month. And while I did start picking things up this past week, and we're actually making good progress, I don't like. I'm gonna miss my Pokemon deadline, and that's fine. I don't think I took it too seriously because Nintendo officially announced that they would be leaving Pokemon Bank online for the near future. We don't have an exact deadline yet, but they will be leaving it online, and that's a good thing, at least for me. The issue being, um, well, I I've ran into a couple of issues. A couple of days ago, we talked about me not having. Well, actually, no. On it was last week, right? It was last week. Yes, last week we talked about me trying to boot up my copy of Mega Ruby. Unfortunately, um, it just didn't. Right? Like I was messing around in Pokemon X, and it didn't boot up, and I'm like, that's very weird. I mean, yeah, I'm not, like, I got all my mystery gifts and whatever, and I put in my Omega Ruby cartridge. I'm like, that's weird. Let me try using my other 3DSs. They don't recognize it either. Let's try all my other game cartridges. They all work instantly. So, after a lot of troubleshooting, we found out the cartridge is dead. So this is a replacement cart from eBay. Um, Pretty much exactly identical, even down to the serial number, which is like 70 numbers off. This is like 342, and I think mine is actually like 412 or something like that, which is hilarious. And I'm super happy that it's like that close, because it feels like, despite this being in Oklahoma. Speaking of, I think your name is it's like Jake or something from Oklahoma. If your Omega Ruby cartridge was sold on eBay just now, and you want your 40-ish hours of progress, drop me a line. I archived the save. I can just send it to you. no big deal. Yeah, so that happened, and then yesterday, um, actually no, like a couple days ago, I had backed up all my saves, and one of the big ones that I backed up was for Pokemon White 2. Now, the thing is, with White 2, I played this on release. I had a couple I got the event Pokemon on release. I got all the really fun Pokemon there. And, like, I played through the game, I loved it. And then when Pokemon X came out, I transferred everything over to X. And then, apparently, I figured I'd just leave the game to just, transfer everything out. That's it. The big thing, when I backed up the save and loaded it up in a save editor, it was not recognizing the file at all, which was confusing to me, right? Why would this game not be recognizing the save file? It should be there. Turns out, in my infinite knowledge, back when I was... When did that come out? 2016, maybe? When I was like 19, 20? I just deleted the save here, and that sucks. But that means a couple of things. One, it means that I need to restart a Pokemon adventure again. I believe I'm like a little bit of the way through White, but this is like a really interesting time because not only am I have I really played through pretty much every Gen 3 game as of yet, other than the console releases, which I will be tackling soon. I've tackled Platinum. I'm in the middle of Heart Gold right now. Like, I will be tackling both White and White 2. After that, X is pretty much done, which I'm happy with. But, everything from, like, DS below, as well as Omega Ruby, and Ultra Sun, I'm replaying the entire series. And it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. And this is kind of like the swan song, right? Like, Nintendo is shutting everything down, right? This is the only thing that can remain. And at least thanks to technology now, we have the ability to just, like, edit saves. We can inject events that normally you had to, like, back in the day, you had to travel across the country for a simple thing on your, like, GBA cartridge. I'm lucky enough to live in New York, and they had some in the New York Pokemon Center, but that just doesn't exist now. They rarely did those events, and it was only for a couple days back in, like, I think one was in a parking lot in, like, a Georgia Mall area or something ridiculous. Back in, like, Generation 4, you would have to go to a GameStop or whatever, and I have very distinct memories of with Pokemon X and Omega Ruby, going to GameStops and getting Pokemon with my buddies back in college. We'd go to Buffalo Wild Wings right after that, and just, like, it'd be Pokemon, Buffalo Wild Wings, go back to the hall, go back to the cafe back at college, enjoy our food, and that was it. And it was so much fun. And it's things like that really, like, I love about the series. A lot of the stuff when the DS came out was online distribution after that, but I'm really gonna, like, push and see how far I can get by myself, and I think I can do pretty much everything, right? Other than the Generation 8 and 9 stuff, which I'm, like, a bit finicky with because, I can't do that. Technically, you need a modded Switch, and I'm a bit hesitant to, like, do anything to my Switch. We'll see, right? We'll have fun. We'll get everything done, and we'll move on from there. It's going to be very interesting. I'm happy to try everything that I can, and it'll be really cool. Just completing the series once and for all. It's a nice swan song, like I said, and hopefully I can manage to do it in a timely manner. I'm making good progress this month, even though it's, like, barely April. And I've made good progress last week, especially in Heart Gold, and my Professor Oak's challenge in Emeralds is going pretty well too. So we'll get there when we get there, but hopefully we can manage and get things done rather quickly before, Pokemon Bank shuts down. Regardless, I think that's what I'm going to call it for today. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow. And until then, later.